It's morning on the American prairie. The meadowlarks sing and the coyotes yip to each other in the distance. While it seems empty, the rising sun casts shadows highlighting the undulating complexity of the landscape. Take a moment to look all around you, below, above, to the side. The creek below is Box Elder Creek on the Sun Prairie property, just north of the Charles M. Russell National Wildlife Refuge. This area serves as home to a diversity of plants and animals, and it's where the American Prairie Reserve introduced their first bison. As the sun rises higher, we can feel the heat of summer, and we begin to hear the rumble of these massive yet highly adapted animals. The herd is spread out and making their way towards us, highlighted by the rising sun and jealously rumbling to each other in the tall grasses. It's August, and the anxiety and urgency of the annual rut has the herd in its full thrall. The bison are nearly impervious to the heat. They've evolved to thrive in this ecosystem of extremes. They stay cool by shedding their heavy winter coat and rolling in dust wallows. The dust helps reflect the sun. As the massive animals pass to either side, we can almost feel the resonating bass of their calls. The grazing behavior of bison has arisen so that they graze intensively and move on, graze and move on, up to 20 miles a day. Their hooves turn the soil and their dung fertilizes it. Given room to roam, they thrive. Notice the reddish babies, or red dogs. Bison will produce young throughout the summer into September, with the majority being born in May. They will typically be weaned around 7 months, but stay with their mother for a full year. By age 2 to 3, the cows will reach sexual maturity and attract the attention of the bulls. In August, the bulls will begin searching for cows that may be close to estrus and tend them until they are receptive, keeping them separated from other bulls and constantly scenting and testing their pheromones, waiting for their opportunity and then starting again elsewhere. The bulls compete and fight throughout the rut for access to the cows. Welcome to the Dry Fork property. APR introduced bison to this property in 2016. We are about 30 miles northwest of Sun Prairie. This area has more grass and less sagebrush. Eye level in this clip is about the same as your eyes are now in a seated position. The first thing you will likely notice is how curious these animals are. Say hi, but keep in mind that you cannot move out of the way. But of course, you don't need to. American bison stand approximately 5 feet to 6.5 feet tall at their shoulder or hump. It's summer here, so they've lost their thick winter coat in favor of their summer coat. Notice that the hair on their head and shoulders remains thick, dense, and curly. During the rut, the males develop thick and full bonnets as a display for females. It may also add a bit of protection. Bison have horns, not antlers. They are bony projections of the skull covered in a keratin substance similar to fingernails and serve as a weapon of both defense from predators and offense during the rut. Notice the wound on the side of the bison in front of you? We've put up a graphic to show which one he is. This wound is likely from a battle for a female. Bulls have been seen using their strong necks and horns to lift adversaries completely off the ground and to the side. Take a moment to look down at their feet. They seem almost dainty for an animal that can weigh 2,000 pounds, but they can propel themselves at 35 miles an hour, launch themselves 6 feet straight in the air, and turn on a dime to confront predators. But perhaps the most important function is that they till the soil as they graze, aerating it and making it more fertile for plants to regrow and shaping the entire ecosystem. Brace yourselves, and if you feel unsteady, just close your eyes. We are now flying over a smallish group of almost 100 bison back on the Sun Prairie property. They're agitated because one or more of the females is nearly ready to mate. It's also a hot afternoon with forest fire haze on the horizon. Notice the dust from the wallowing behavior? This helps with cooling and protection from insects. Dust is also kicked up by bulls as they bellow and paw the ground. Can you find the two bulls fighting at the edge of the herd, off to the right a bit? The raw strength and determination of these animals is astounding. While this VR experience may be immersive and incredible, it pales in comparison to the real thing, and even more so in comparison to what will be. Imagine this sound and sight extending to the horizon as thousands of bison roam freely across the landscape, reshaping and rejuvenating an entire prairie ecosystem that hasn't been seen in hundreds of years. Imagine the return of other animals that this will make possible, the bears and wolves and beavers and ferrets, and imagine your role in making it a reality for this and future generations. Thank you for joining us and for supporting this grand project.